Hey, can you hear me now? I have no idea what's going on. I just gave a really long spiel and I don't think it captured any of it. So, hi Michelle, hi Ray, hi Mafu, hi Oliver. I think this is potentially the third time I'm reintroducing this stream. I'm not going to touch any of the tech. I am just going to use the iPad and hopefully not jinx anything. So Mafu asked earlier what I'll be drawing this week, and I wanted to carry on with the Folktale week because we've only just finished Folktale week, and I've done, as you can probably see on my stream, I've done Folktale 1, Folktale 2 and 7, and I'd started 3, which was the Bog Witch, Hen Urach in Welsh, or the Marsh Witch, so the Witch of the Marsh. And I was wondering whether to carry on with that one or to start on one of the others. Now, number 4 is the story of Esmeralda, which we are probably all aware of from Disney. Is it Disney? Esmeralda with Quasimodo. So that's a story that links back to Wales in Welsh folklore. Folktale 5 is about Afanc, which are the water spirits, but I hadn't really come up with an idea for that one properly. And then Folktale 6 is about the Mari Lwyd, which is a folk custom that happens usually around New Year. Yeah, the play. So Martha says, I heard that name before. I thought she was from a play. Well, the play Esmeralda is part of Quasimodo's story from Notre Dame, and I can't quite remember what Disney called their cartoon version or what story actually comes through, but the original Esmeralda is a Welsh girl from North Wales, and she returns to Wales at the end of her very lively adventure, and was basically from down the road from me, so I was going to do a part of her tale. So yes, I'm just deciding whether I should carry on with the Bog Witch or start colouring another one. What do you think? And Oliver's got a new book, Carmina Gadelica. Ooh, is that a story itself, or is that the author? Tell me more about that, Oliver. So I wonder if I at least get my so you want me to tell the story of Esmeralda? Okay, we'll go for the Esmeralda story. I'm just gonna create a little bit of a noise whilst I grab my book. Oof, if I can reach it. There we go. So, Esmeralda. So this is from the book Welsh Folktales by Peter Stevenson, who's an illustrator himself. Brilliant illustrations. Let's see if I can find the actual story in here. The Dancing Girl from Prestatyn, it is. She was actually Esmeralda was a real person, and whether her name was actually Esmeralda or that was her stage name, I'm not sure. But she's named Esmeralda in this story. So for Folktale 4, the picture I'm doing, the prompt is trail, and I have Esmeralda, this person here, in her own caravan on a trail. If I briefly read from the story, Esmeralda was born in 1854, black-haired and dark-eyed, one of 14 children to Noah and Delia Locke, travellers from North Wales who played fiddles, sold wicker baskets and traded at horse fairs. When Esmeralda was 16, she was married to Hubert Smith, a wealthy and persistent 52-year-old solicitor and town clerk from Bridge North, who allowed the Lockes to camp on his land by the Severn. However, Esmeralda Locke was not a girl to be pinned down. She was a butterfly. So basically her story is that she wanted to carry on travelling and adventures, go on adventures and perform as a dancer, and so that's what she would do. And she met up with folk who helped her along her way, even characters in British history, one being the Archdeacon of Suffolk, who obviously his son Francis is somebody who came across Esmeralda. So she was sort of having these adventures and relationships with people from all sorts of well-to-do society. And Victor Hugo obviously came across her story and wrote about her into his play, which involves Notre Dame. A solicitor, is a lawyer, a barrister, lawyer. It's another word that we use. And a caravan, so is a trail, like a trailer, but it's going to have fabric on it. It's like a very old style hut with wheels. She did, Mafu. She decided that she wanted to dance around Europe, basically. Had this relationship with the son of the Archdeacon of Suffolk, who had money to help her. And So another thing was her being known as a performer. If you can imagine, in that time, in the 1860s, 1870s, 1880s, singing and dancing at theatres, she was portrayed by other artists. So Dante Gabriel Rossetti painted her. Victor Hugo wrote about her in his The Hunchback of Notre Dame. So her story has been caught up in the history of Europe's sort of creative culture, writing and art. But her actual story has never really been known, because I never knew that she was Welsh until I got this book. She returned to Prestatyn in her green and yellow caravan, settling in 1918 in Pendra Farm in Prestatyn, which is like 10 miles away from me. It's really close. Still caused scandals wherever she went, but she says here that she caused the occasional scandal and kept the town on its toes before she was run over by a bus near the Cross Foxes in 1939, and she's buried in Rhyl, an unlikely resting place for Quasimodo's wild gypsy dancer. So yeah, and as Oliver was asking, was she Welsh Roma? Possibly. I'm not sure if it actually says that in here, because these are actually only short snippets of stories. But I'd love to know whether she was Welsh Roma. So there we go. So I'm going to do, that's the story of Esmeralda, a Welsh girl who inspired many stories across Europe. And I'm going to draw her in her green and yellow caravan in North Wales with the Welsh Hills in the background. Well, if you can imagine, Matthew, I don't think they had much in the way of the highway code in those days, 1930s. I must try and figure out if I can find her grave though, if it's marked, because that would be really cool to see. Okay, so I've got my sketch. What I want to do is get my colours in. I haven't got any colours for this, so I'm going to have to come out and what I'm just looking for in my files is photographs of the colours that I need. So just bear with me. Actually, if I come back into it, I can do it from the actual picture itself. Dun, dun, dun. Should you refer to her as Sensei? And she's portrayed as French Roma. Well, she was only inspired but I wonder if he took a lot of her story and just tweaked what was necessary for his own needs. So get rid of that one, and then the other colours that I would like are sorry if you can hear my dogs in the background as well. They are having to amuse themselves downstairs. Okay, so I have my colours to work with. And I'm going to do another layer to give this some more work. Going for my regular brushes. Hey Uma, thanks for joining. So I know I want you and you. Just grabbing some brushes, ones that I tend to use most often. I need like a second favourites file where it's just like the favourite of the favourite, so it's super easy to get hold of. I have too many favourites. Okay, I think that's probably close. There we go. And what I'm looking for are pencils and inking and paint brushes, Matthew. If I have them sort of all done ready, then I can just go into my recents library, which means I've got a shorter selection of brushes to choose from. So to begin with, my perfect pencil. So I've got 3 different layers. Top layer, going to be doing, I wanted to do some nice tree shaped overhangs in the foreground with the soil on show, which I've never done before, but I thought I'd give it a go. It does have a lot of brushes. I am not the best at making decisions on how to purge the brushes, just in case is my motto. I was going to do like the bottom of the image as a soil, under the soil layer. I don't know why, I just thought that might be quite interesting, showing the roots and worms and other stuff. And mushrooms. So yeah, so it's going to have lots of plantage. I'm trying to be a lot looser with my plants because I can really get into some detail, and it just, I need to give the impression of plants rather than, especially when they're background, or you know, they're just like additional. Yeah. Worms, beetle larvae, fungal hyphae, a mole. I was actually going to draw a skeleton. I thought that would be a nice, creepy addition. A skeleton of some sort. That's actually a skull. But I'm not sure a skull of what, though. It might be better to draw the skull of an animal rather than a person. Okay, so that's my foreground, and I want to just block that off with some colour. I've often played between whether doing using the vector brushes to block colour in and then go over them with the pixel brushes. But I feel like I love these brushes so much, I actually want the effects as part of, as if I was doing a painting, to sort of, you know, go splash, 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 splash with the paintbrush to get my effect in. So yes, it's just very quickly. Okay, there is the frame. That is the frame of the image, and then I'm just going to then focus on the background on another layer, and the background is the hills where I live, and where Prestatyn is, the Clwydian range, which is a lovely range of rolling hills. So I'm sort of exaggerating them to a degree. With, I suppose that's the middle ground, is it? I'll make these trees. So I will probably do a lot of the details that we get on the hills around here. There's this one which is more Vamai, has a Jubilee Tower on the top. It's called the Jubilee Tower. And there's a path going up to it. Some of them are quite pointy. Some of them even have archaeological digs. Because of the old hill forts. And there's lots of heather as well. So these are very purple and pink. Purple, pinks and greens. So doing them with like you can imagine fields, but also fire breaks at the top. So there could be hedges with trees in. Hedges and hedge lines and trees because these are all farming fields. Okay, and then the background's also my clouds. So if I block this in, get my clouds in. With some sky, let's go for a nice darkening sky. Because this is Folktale week after all, these are all quite dark stories. And then I need pinks and purples for my hills. I think I probably need to be a little bit lighter. Hey Ray, thank you for coming back. Don't worry, I crashed as well. Something about, I don't know what it is, something could, I've noticed a few tweaks with Behance of stuff not working, so I do wonder whether they're just not updating the tech and are just allowing it to I don't know what the word, just not work anymore. Okay, that's fine to begin with. And then my midground is a... See, I didn't want to draw another horse. I'm not the best at drawing horses, but for some reason I have drawn so many horses and I still cannot get the angles right. I find that I really would have to study them more, and I feel like I'm not doing any horses there, giving them any respect. So I've decided it's literally just going to be the back side of a horse that I'm drawing with its tail. And this is going to be my rickety old wooden caravan, which I did briefly look at an image of as a reference. I thought that's enough detail for me. So depth-wise, I need to sort of make sure that there is a frame around the front, and then it sort of goes back. I suppose I do need to have the wheels at the back on show, don't I? Matthew says, I drew a unicorn once. If I remember correctly, I didn't use guidelines for it. I just drew the eye and then connected it with wrinkles instead. They're quite, horses are not, it's almost like certain animals, you never know, their angled legs don't angle the way you expect them to. And then when you see them drawn out, you're like, no, that definitely doesn't look right. There we go, that sort of gives the impression of distance. And a wheel on this side. This is also why I don't like drawing bikes. They're so technical. Bikes, cars, horses, and dogs are almost a nemesis for me. I love drawing cats though. Just quickly adding in some detail just to see what space I've got for things. Okay, and then the carriage, inside the carriage. So I didn't really want to make her too small. So she's sat up front. Didn't want to do that. You can see this is actually where my golden spiral is. And that's where I wanted her focus to be, I suppose, in this part. So maybe hair, because she's supposed to have like awesome hair. So maybe that can become trailing outside or something. Looks rather large hairdo. Let's give her some elbows, how to hold on to horses, a rein. I feel like she's holding on to something that is thinner, but the actual horse itself would be connected to the carriage. Hey Erin, thanks for joining. This is already getting complicated, and so somehow let's try and join these together. They go together like that. Be like some sort of thing between them, and obviously the horse's tail is covering that joint. Maybe there's a loop here. I'm just making this up. I don't actually know if this is what they would look like, these carriages. Just sort of making it look like it's somehow connected. And then if I do a sort of bolt thing, oh there we go, it looks like it's, I'm gonna do that again, make it look like it's attached via some sort of chain link. Okay, that's detail, I will work on that. So my tail covers this awkward part, and this wheel is covered. So I need to get this attached to the horse. Okay. Come on, Esmeralda. What do you look like? So I can imagine she's got some big skirts on, because that was the dress in the day. Big puffy sleeves. Get these elbows out. She might need to be shrunk a little bit. She looks very out of proportion. I mean, probably could look funny to squeeze her into the carriage. So I could have her higher up actually. If I just redo that and move her higher up. So she's got to have some sort of let's get rid of the hair on this side, it looks a bit daft. And she's looking in that direction. Hair can still be trailing out the side. This is the inside of the caravan, so I can give her a sort of seating. At her knees. Because you probably wouldn't be able to see where her feet go anyway. I suppose she needs some sort of barrier. There we go, like a side of a cart. I could hide that elbow, that rogue elbow, by bringing in this side of the caravan. Behind that post. So I'll just wheel that later. So this is her face. Dimensions, Yvie dimensions. I'm always in a bit of a to do about faces. Do I give them? Does she need a trail of besotted suitors running after the caravan? She's left them for dust. What I might do though is maybe have, like, on the tree in the front, some sort of signpost, as if it's like modern billboard advertising of Esmeralda, you know, come and watch. Come and watch Esmeralda or something, and have that pinned with a nail or something, or hanging. Could do that. So her, right, yeah, so give me her seating bench which means I can get her. Give her more space for this big skirt she's likely to be wearing. And maybe have her feet planted, showing the tips of her toes just there. And the bench that she'll be nice big puffy sleeves. Got to figure out the dress element. But okay. Right, let's just get some colours in. Oh, the other thing I needed as well. So I needed my trail, which is the whole point of it. And obviously it's like the trail's going to be just a tuft in the middle, grass. And then the divots. And then the grass on the side. And I was going to do quite a steep edge to the hill she was on, but actually it probably wouldn't be needed. But this can have trees. And then in the background we can just see the trail coming through. I sort of want it to go looking like it's sort of going down a hill a bit and then back up the other side. So I suppose that does need to be a hill there. So something like that. Right, so if I now get these colours in. And she's got a green and yellow caravan. Now that could be striped, but I'd probably do green with yellow flowers on it. Now she has black hair and she's going to have a black horse. But I'd like it to be a little less. Not black, but dark. There you go, I've hidden the surprise of how badly shaped the legs would be if I had to draw them. And then this tail. And then I can make the stirrupy attachment things a brown shade. And also the rest of the cart, or the caravan. Just realised I need to do this background grass. Let's make it this green for now. And then give this a bluer green. Of sorts, it might be more purple actually when I do it. On the trail. And then her dress. Let's just give her white for now. What colour dress would she be wearing? Okay, got rid of the background, got some colours in. Let's pull these together, these scribbles. Move everything else out the way. Pink or yellow dress? Do you know what? I need to add my hue overlay. So I can see where I need to adjust. And let's just give this a okie doke. Oops, wrong. So I'm going to switch off the foreground and I'm going to concentrate on the middle ground. Which means doing another layer. Layers upon layers. I'll wait until I've done some more of the details before I figure out what dress colour. As long as I get the details for the dress sorted. I'd be happy with that. Right, what colour do I want to do this in? Some sort of off black. I do feel like I'm rushing it, you know, but I don't want to spend forever doing these. They're meant to be just for Folktale Week, so they're meant to be sort of just a practice of showcasing folktale art, but I can't get drawn into details. So, gosh, not big, not light enough. I can imagine there's like some sort of curtain around. I suppose it should be more arched at the top, shouldn't it, as well? I just want to get this curved caravan, and then I can have like these rolls of material as caravans, I think, had. trying too hard to make this look geometrically sufficient. Wonky lines are part of the look, I promise you. So I wanted to get a bolt that goes that way. So that the other bolt could come. I'm saying bolt, I don't mean bolt. Sort of link. Can come that way. That also happens, Erin. Ideas flow through my head so fast. I just think of all the ideas that I've had, that if only I'd got them down quick enough, I could have done something with them. Right, so I've got that bolt going that bolt going that way. And maybe that's all I need. So these could be the actual rain links. And I wanted the horse rein to actually go parallel and upright, so actually they would need to be that way. It will all make sense in the end. And then these are my rein links. Let's get this parallel. There's one. And that comes underneath. To make two. The good thing about drawing is that you can literally make up the engineering, I suppose. Now I made that one round, that one not round. Okay. And some sort of plate that these are attached to, I suppose. Yeah, artistic license, exactly. In my world, this is how the laws of physics works. Something like that. Okay, more details. Let's get these wheels. And then the side of the wagon. It can all look a little bit wonky. Let's do this one. And these spokes. That wheel probably needs to go further back. What I might do is just copy this wheel. And shrink it. Nice bit of distort there in the transform. I've got my back wheel. Okay. Could make this caravan a little bigger. Hang on, let me just tell my pup to behave. Sorry about that. She was just making sure you were all awake. I feel like the top of it is too flat. It needs to be more stretched. So I'm just going to angle this up some more. Okay. I mean, I feel like I'm actually drawing a hot air balloon type caravan, but it's fine. I might have my structure the wrong way around. Do you know what? When it happened to you, Erin, I was like, oh, so that's what it sounds like. This looks like the funniest shaped contraption you ever saw. Let's try some more, give it some height. There we go. You can hear her whining in the background now. Okay. Probably doesn't look better, but we're going with that. Put some colour in that just so I can see it better against the background. Okay. Something like that. Looks like a hat. Okay, so get some interior decorating style. And maybe you can have an interior sort of curtain. Okay, so I've done the majority of the cart, and if I just finish these reins, it means I've probably done a lot of the non-human layer for this. And the horse's rump. Oh, wrong layer. Hide that there. Didn't want this one to get too... Oh, there you go, it's sort of it's sort of hidden there behind the tail. And right, the reins was the other thing. Okay, so if I take everything else out and just leave this in. Oof. Got all those lines. Well, that does look like a horse, doesn't it? So I've got about 10 minutes left. I'm just gonna get some of this dress detail in so I know what I'm working with. Wonderful hand mechanics as well. Where do the thumbs go? The back end of a horse. It is the back end of a horse. That's all it needs to look like. It's just to give you that impression there is a horse pulling the caravan. No more needed. One hand. Oh, that was my tummy. Remember? Oh. Let's make it look like she's actually gripping this. Very loose rein. Probably have to make these reins a little bit thinner. Oh, see you, Mafu. Sorry, I didn't spot that. Okay, I've got reins. I've got feet. Got these dress flowy bits. And get the angles of these elbows is going to be interesting. Still feel like the back of this caravan looks more like, I don't know, some sort of hot air balloon. Maybe the whole thing needs to be just stretched. No, I'm going to redraw it because it's a bit naff. Looks like an egg. Probably doesn't need to be so high. Just needs to be. There we go. Oh, wrong way. So from here, sorry to anybody who was looking at my caravan thinking, oh, that's the ugliest caravan ever. Get in there. So when you stretch these, it makes the lines go very blurry. Hello, Sean. Hola. Or bom dias. How do you say that in Portuguese? Hello. You checking in on us? Is this your Thanksgiving getaway? There we go. That looks better, doesn't it? Less like a football, and more like a caravan. Just get these lines in, just to make sure these are all joined up. We like it to be skewer, but it still needs to make sense. Madeira. Nice. Buonanotte. Close. I'm saying that really badly. Buonanotte. Buonanotte. Sorry to all the Portuguese speakers out there. Wicked. Buonanotte. Was I? I can't remember what I said. Right. That's as far as I've got in terms of the caravan and the horse's rump. However, let's bring this back in and that back in and my colours. And then if I also bring in, you see there, I've got to make sure that the inside of the caravan has more contrast. Well, I've got another doggy at the door now, scratching at the door to get in. Let's darken the inside of this caravan. To make sure there's some contrast. And obviously the hills will have so much more shading in them as well, in the trees and the trail as well. I haven't quite done that, but obviously the rocks on the trail where the grass is, that will have more definition, so that'll be darker in parts as well, especially going underneath. So that should start to stand out more. And at the moment she looks like something Quentin Blake would have drawn, like a character from the Witches. So yeah, so this is as far as I've got, and I'm glad I did this one because it is a lot of fun. And if you didn't catch this earlier, this is the story of Esmeralda, who was in actual fact a Welsh Roma, potentially Welsh Roma. I'm not sure actually what her lineage was. She was a traveller who was from North Wales and down the road from me, because I'm also in North Wales. And after having all of her adventures in Europe being written about by Victor Hugo, being drawn by Dante Gabriel Rossetti, she eventually came back to North Wales in her green and yellow caravan, and this is what I'm drawing. And the prompt that started this off was actually trail for Folktale Week, and so this is her on her trail coming back to North Wales, and then the Clwydyn Hills in the background. And there we go. So this was my 2-hour blast into getting this image done. Hooray! So officially after this we have what day are we today? 27th. We have, for me, the 4th of December and the 11th of December of Wednesdays live streaming here on Behance, and then 16th of December there will be a live stream with my fellow Behancers. In the chat there's Uma and Sean and Erin and Marfu, who will also be streaming, I believe, as well as Delta Tango Mike, Dan, Jane, Lady Jane, Katerina, Jack Watson, and my brain's starting to peter out. So yes, so there's 2 more Wednesdays for me, then a Monday, and then officially it's move over to Twitch. And I'll be in my Mammoth era. It will be Twitch, Oliver. And Mammoth, M-A-M-O-T, is middle-aged mums on Twitch. I wonder if I can get that as a movement. There we go. Yeah, Mammoth, middle-aged mums on Twitch, where I will be figuring out. I have literally only just figured out how to not crash this Behance so often. Mammoth, middle-aged mums on Twitch. I think we're a niche category who are here to revolutionize streaming on Twitch, maybe. Anyway, it's funny because I used to tell my kids off at watching Twitch because it was like, what on earth are you watching? Turn it off. Turn that rubbish on. Okay, so thank you very much, everybody. Thank you to Uma and Oliver and Matthew and Sean and Ray and Erin. Michelle was here. I can't see who else. And yeah, thanks for joining me, everybody. Great to get this one done. I'm almost at a full set of Folktale Week images. And what day are we? Wednesday. And yeah, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in another stream. Okay, take care. Bye.